You might be up against the final boss of manifestation, and I'm going to share what that looks like, how close you are literally to your next quantum leap, and how to navigate this space. This is going to be a fun one and something that's come to me because I have been in my own little final boss moment. And I want to share how I have been navigating it and some things that I've shared with clients that have supported them with navigating the void space, basically the space where one foot's in the old reality, one foot's in the new reality, one foot's in the old identity, the other one hasn't fully solidified. So let's talk about it. What is the final boss stage of manifestation? Okay. This is what some people call delusional, but I don't like the word delusional personally because I think the only delusions have been believing in the lack and limitation and limiting beliefs, right? So I believe it's just standing in your fucking power, regardless of what's happening. So, okay. Final boss is your old identity clinging on for dear life. This is how it shows up. And this is the test. It's not a real test per se, but it feels like a test. So when you're choosing your new reality, when you're choosing the next level income you desire to make, the bigger impact you desire to make, whatever your next level is, when you're choosing that, when you're deciding that, when you're like, this is how it is, this is what I'm showing up for, this is what I'm claiming, you've got to understand that the old identity, because it's what you've been conditioned to with for so long, will come around, will come up, and it'll show up in the form of thoughts that are disempowering, thoughts that are the old stories like, oh, this is going to be hard, or yeah, but we don't know how it's going to happen. Oh, but this is, where I've been stuck for so long and whatever. The thoughts are going to make you try to believe that you are those thoughts still. But remember, you are not your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. It's a trap. It's literally a trap. So those thoughts will come in and they'll be like telling you all these things from the old story and they'll try to grab your attention, your awareness, right? And if your awareness goes to them and starts identifying with them again, boom, you're back, you're in the same cycle, and then you stay stuck or you delay your outcomes, et cetera, et cetera. So in order to defeat the final boss of manifestation, here's what you're going to do. You're going to hear those thoughts come up and you're going to be like, oh, that's interesting. That's just the old program. That's just the old story. That's not how it is. Actually, this is how it is. I am always supported. I am wealthy. I am whatever your affirmations or decrees that you choose are. You just override it. So those thoughts are going to come up. That's one way the final boss, your old identity, tries to defeat you and keep you in the same cycle. But we're not doing that anymore. You're here to quantum fucking leap on a repeat, and this is how you're going to do it. So that's one way. Another way the final boss will show its face and try to reel you back in, is circumstances in your current reality. So say you have been manifesting, you've been doing your inner work, you've been on a roll, you've been thinking positive, you've been, living in the it's already done vibe, you have been showing up big with your business, you've been seeing some results, as per usual, but there's certain things that show up in your reality that aren't reflecting what you know you're capable of. Or in some cases, they might be reflecting the exact opposite. And, on one hand, you might be like, what the fuck? Like, what actually gives? Like, why is this happening? Like, I've been on a roll. I've been showing up for myself. I've been taking care of myself, blah, blah, blah. Why is this happening? It's very tempting to go into the why is this happening, right? But again, that's a trap. And it's the old identity basically trying to grab your attention again, trying to grab your awareness again and bring you back into the familiar, the what it's used to. So these circumstances show up and it's like, if it triggers you, that's okay, but you can navigate it and I'll tell you how to move through that in a moment. But the key is to remind yourself that your circumstances literally don't matter. Only your state of being does. That's one of my favorite Bashar quotes. Circumstances don't matter. Only your state of being does. But sometimes circumstances can be really triggering. I know for me, there have been times in my experience where circumstances really did trigger me, whether it was, in regards to a relationship thing or in regards to my business or seeing a dip in my income. It really did bring stuff up in me. And I'll tell you how to navigate that in a moment. But the thing is, when you start noticing things in your reality that maybe are reflecting the opposite, that's your cue. This is the delusional part where people say, just be delusional. That's where you literally are like, okay, this is happening. Awesome. Cool. I'm still fucking awesome. I still know my shit. I'm wealthy. I'm abundant. Business is booming. Whatever is the opposite, like whatever you desire, basically, you're still saying what you desire as if it's already done. You're imagining it as if it's already done. You are being the you who's in the reality that it's already done, even when your circumstances show the complete opposite. And you might feel a little crazy in those times. Your mind might come in and say, oh, you're being irresponsible, or oh, you should worry right now. And that's your cue to stand in your fucking power and be like, no, I know who I am. I know who I am. I am always supported. I am infinitely supported. I am guided by the divine. I am one with God, and with God, all things are possible. And everything always works out for me, period. Everything always works out for me. So you're overriding it again with your decrees, with your embodiment. And if you feel like you're spiraling or it really does bring a lot up in you, this is what you're going to do. So there have been times, like I said, for me on my journey where things have come up and they really, really triggered me, but I don't look at that as a bad thing. I actually look at that as an opportunity to resolve something that is coming to the surface so that you can step into your next level, so that you can allow in more of the abundance, more clients, whatever it is that you desire, right? So say you do get triggered and your human is like freaking out. She's upset. She feels hurt. She doesn't feel important, whatever's coming, whatever the story is, right? So what I would do is like really lean into that, give it space and give it space as like a parent would give a child space to just be and express. So you give your human space and just notice or ask like, okay, what's coming up for you? And say there's a story there. I'll give you an example. So for me, one time I was upset about something that had to do with a guy, and there was a story that was coming up around not feeling important. And what was coming up for me was I felt upset and I felt hurt and I felt these emotions of feeling hurt or upset, but it was attached to this story of I'm not important. And once I allowed myself to just feel the feelings, literally to just cry and to just allow my human to feel the feelings without judging it and just like looking at it as energy just moving through my body. Once I allowed that to happen and also noticed the story that was attached to it of I'm not important, I caught it right away. And I was like, oh, I'm feeling this way because there's a story there that is out of alignment with my truth. Please follow me here. I'm going to repeat that. I was triggered, right? Because I was believing or identifying with still an old story, I'm not important, that was coming up. And it was causing my human to feel upset about that because that's not who I truly am, right? But remember, we are not the thoughts, we are not the stories, we are pure consciousness streaming through the physical vessel. So when I noticed that story, I easily was like, oh, well, of course I'm important. I accept myself. I have my own approval. I have my own support. I have God's support. I'm infinitely supported and, whatever it is that I said in my mind, and it just like completely dissolved. So that's true energetic alchemy. So if anything comes up for you in the process, as you're choosing to embody, it's already done. If emotions come up, it's okay. It's only because you've identified with something that is ready to be released that you're no longer identifying with, that you have the opportunity to no longer identify with. And it's bringing up those emotions because they may need to be processed and felt and just transmuted. So that's really all it is. And that is another way to defeat the final boss of manifestation, which is your old identity. It's your old identity coming up, trying to cling on and like really putting up a fit on its way out. Okay. So just let it do its thing and know that that's all that it is. And know that you are literally all that is. So those are the two main ways that the final boss, your old identity, is going to show up and rear its ugly head. The thoughts that come into your mind that are disempowering, the circumstances or the things that reality is reflecting to you that are going against what you say you want, that are trying to get your attention, and also your triggers. Let's say it's 3 things, right? Those are the things that are going to come up. And it's all okay. And you have the opportunity to navigate those things easily when you come from a place of compassion, non-judgment, and being the observer. And just know that things are going to come up on your journey in different ways. But when you start to become even better at like really staying true to who you are and embodied in your power and not identifying with the things that feel limiting or disempowering, the easier it's going to be for you to navigate all of this. And this is truly what happens even more so when you're right at the precipice of your next quantum leap. It's like some people call this up-level pains. Some people call this the breakdown before the breakthrough. It happens right when you are like literally right there. And so all you need to do is stay so laser focused and delusional in your power, stay in your power through it, and know that so much is literally about to enter your reality like that, okay? And have fun with this. This reminds me sometimes, I think of, there's this meme where like there's like fire in the background, like someone's like smiling and I don't remember what it says, but I think of that meme when I think of beating the final boss of manifestation, your old identity, overcoming your old identity, because it tries to pull out all these things and you're just like, no, this is who I am. This is how it is now. This is what we're doing. And, you can cry, you can say all these things, you can show me all these things, but I know who I am and I'm in my blow up era. I'm in my glow up era. I'm in my blow up era. I'm in my lazy rich girl era. Let's go. Okay. And you just stay solid in that and you'll start to see things reflected. You already have been seeing things reflecting in your reality. It's doing it all the time. But I want you to start to bring your awareness to the fact that these things that are coming up are literally growth gifts for you to expand, for you to embody more of your power, and for you to truly allow yourself to receive all of the amazing things that you are allowing into your life in this season and beyond. So let me know if this resonated for you below. I would love to hear. And if you want more support on your journey, come join us in my community. I'm about to do my 21-day Tap into Abundance energetic experiment in there. I'll leave a link for you in the description box below. Or if you want more personalized support, I have my one-on-one or group mentorship. All of that information also is down below. And let's stay connected on socials. I love you so, so much. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.